The historic Kot Diji Fort is a spectacular structure. In the vicinity of Kot Diji Hills are found evidences of prehistoric settlements and workshops, from where archaeologists have excavated cutting and hunting tools belonging to the Stone, Paleolithic, and Bronze Ages. West of Kot Diji Fort is a small hillock with vestiges of the prehistoric settlement of Kot Diji, with a defensive wall around the citadel area. This is one of the earliest known fortification walls in the subcontinent. The robust construction and massive size of the wall give the impression that the community responsible for building it was advanced and pragmatic. The citadel was built on the bedrock with undressed courses of limestone blocks at the base, supporting a mud brick superstructure. Regular courses of large stone blocks, set in mud mortar, have been used on the northern and eastern sides. No traces of plaster were found on the inner side of wall. At places, the outer face of the stone base is supported by mud brick revetment bonded with the foundation courses. The wall was strengthened with bastions at irregular intervals. The bastions are supported by a mud brick revetment. East of the prehistoric settlement stands the monumental Kot Diji Fort, built by the Talpurs, who assumed control of Sindh in 1883. The word Talpur is derived from the word Talpur. Originally, the Talpurs belonged to the Lur tribe, which lived in Luristan in Iran. Talpurs were a branch of Kharani Loren. The meaning of the word tal is a tree, and bur means to cut, suggesting that they were probably woodcutters. All historians concur that Talpurs belonged to a branch of the Baloch tribe named Hot. The Mughals invited the Baloch to settle in Sindh. Subsequently, the Kalhoras reinforced their army with Balochi soldiers. When the Talpurs overthrew the Kalhoras, they divided Sindh into three regions. Hyderabad, the largest region, was governed jointly by four Mirs: Mir Sobdar, Mir Muhammad Khan, Mir Nur Muhammad and Mir Nazir Khan. Mirpurkhas, the second region, was handed to Mir Tharo Khan. Khairpur, the third region, was given to yet another relative, Mir Sohrab Khan. Mir Sohrab Khan built forts in Khairpur State to defend his border. In the Thar region, he erected a fort at Imam Garh, on the border of Jodhpur and Jaisalmer. He constructed Shah Garh Fort. The fortification he built in Ahmadabad, at Diji, is the now known as Kot Diji Fort. The Kot Diji Fort location, built on a small limestone hill, at the town of Kot Diji. The fort is located 20 kilometers south of the city of Khairpur Mirs, near the national highway. After a devastating drought in the Thar region, people migrated in large numbers from Jodhpur and Jaisalmer states to the neighboring Khairpur state. Taking advantage of the influx of impoverished refugees, the Mirs built a fort at Kot Diji. The laborers were paid 1 parti, measurement unit, of barley per day. Kot Diji Fort was built in 1797, under the supervision of Serai Muhammad Saleh Zeri, who was assigned the task by Mir Sohrab Khan. The fort was named Qila-e-Ahmadabad. The trident-shaped fort is constructed using baked bricks, measuring 9.5 by 4.5 by 1.5 centimeters. Stones are also used at places. This fort has a unique construction. Unlike other forts, the construction is focused on three main aspects. It has 3 defense lines. It gets progressively higher with each stage. The fort gets gradually narrower as it reaches the top. The fort is built on an inclining ridge, posing an obstacle for invaders. The steep and slippery slope makes it exceedingly difficult for an attacking force to scale the defensive walls. The massive defensive walls were an added deterrent. The Kot Diji Fort has 3 gates in succession. The fort's main top areas are adjacent to the 3 gates. The fort is designed in a narrow shape, to prevent projectiles from falling inside the fort premises. It took about 27 years, 1803 to 1830, to build this virtually unassailable fort. Almost all historians concur that Talpurs belonged to a branch of the Baloch tribe named Hot. The Mughals invited the Baloch to settle in Sindh. Subsequently, the Kalhoras reinforced their army with Balochi soldiers. When Charles Napier attacked Sindh, it is believed that the traitor, Mir Ali Murad, gave the British financial support and provided them with 500 cavalrymen. After defeating the Talpurs at the Battle of Miani, the British government gifted Khairpur State to Mir Ali Murad, as a gesture of their appreciation for his services. Mir Sohrab Khan built forts in Khairpur State to defend his border. In the Thar region, he erected a fort at Imam Garh. On the border of Jodhpur and Jaisalmer, he constructed Shah Garh Fort. The fortification he built in Ahmadabad, at Diji, is the now known as Kot Diji Fort. The main gate of Kot Diji is an engineering marvel. Facing south, it is protected by two large bastions. The walls and the bastions of the main gates are decorated with merlins. Three features add to the defense of the fort's gate: the high walls and bastions protecting it, insufficient space in front of the gate for an attacking force to come through it in large numbers or use a battering ram to break it open, a curved passage, making it extremely difficult to assault it. 234 sharp spikes are embedded in the wooden door, protecting it against elephant attacks. The gate is about 4.6 meters high and 3 meters wide. Inside the main gate is a covered passageway with guardrooms on either side. A tapered bastion is built above the third gate. The entire fort can be watched over from a tower, the outer face of which is plastered with lime. The lower portion of the tower was used as living quarters, where the commander of the army or perhaps the Mirs resided. This tower was called Fatah Ali because victorious armies would hoist their flags on it. The Mirs of Khairpur State observed the guard of honor from the tower. The main portion of the fort starts after passing through multiple doors. The layout of the area resembles a sitting camel. All important and prominent structures such as bastions, the ammunition depot, water storage tank, prison, royal palace, and the throne, are in this area. The prominent bastions of the fort are Savan Safa and Malk Madan Bastion. There is a broad circular bastion on the western corner of the fort. During Mir's rule, two large cannons, Savan Safa and Malk Madan, were mounted on it. It was common practice to fill the compact ramparts with mud or other materials available in the vicinity. At Kot Diji Fort, the rampart had a dual purpose. The vaulted chamber's upper portion was, as usual, used for defense. The roof of the chamber served as battlement and contained merlins, embrasures and machicolations. The lower part of that vaulted chambers has living quarters for soldiers. A water storage tank, constructed with stone, is found on the western part of the fort. It is 11.28 meters long, 6.70 meters wide and 3.65 meters deep. At some point, it was covered with a roof. In the author's opinion, this so-called water tank was probably an ammunition depot, or a granary. A few chambers are constructed opposite the third gate, attached to a rampart. In the central chamber, several holes are made in its inner walls. Locals claim these were used to keep lamps. However, there is no evidence of oil or dark smoke around the holes. In my view, this hall was used to store weapons. A building in the fort served as royal residence, reserved for wives and female servants. A harem. The building consists of a big hall with 2 rooms. Its interior walls are decorated with beautiful fresco paintings. The roof is painted with floral motifs in lacquer. Pavilion on the eastern side of the fort, adjacent to the Jaisalmer Tower, is a pavilion measuring 6 by 4.5 meters, built on an elevated platform. The pavilion has beautiful cut stonework. The entrances have attractive multi-cusped arches, 3 on one side and 2 on the other, supported by 12 Corinthians pillars embroidered with flowery motifs. The pavilion was the royal seat, where Mirs would sit on important occasions, such as on Eid and other festive events.